to Whiteboard Wednesday. I'm Art Weirs. I serve on the staff of the region of the Great Lakes in the Reformed Church. And today I'd like to share with you some thoughts around pastors leaving well. It's a subject that I think most people avoid talking about. People get emotional about this. The emotions sometimes can be positive about a departure. And then again, sometimes it's negative. And so we often will avoid these conversations. My observation in ministry is that's unfortunate and often causes us to make misjudgments or miscalculations that really cost the ministry overall. And I'd like you to think about the analogy of being on a flight in an airplane. And most everybody has had that experience. Most of you have experienced that many, many times. And the airplane takes off and you're in flight. And as a passenger, you're probably not thinking too much about the landing till the plane starts coming down. And if a pastor would think about, my time spent in a given ministry in a church is much like a flight. There was a takeoff time, there's a cruising time, but there's also a time for landing the plane, if you will. That means my leadership is going to be coming to a completion. I'll have brought this ministry the distance and to the place that God wanted me to bring it, and then it's going to be up to another leader to take that next flight. But if you think about it, to land the plane well, you have to plan ahead. A few years ago, I was talking to a pilot of a corporate jet, and I was curious about his job and some of the things he did. In the midst of that conversation, I was asking, when he was flying from West Michigan to Denver, how long did that take and what was involved? And what I was surprised in the conversation was he said, we're not even 1/3 into the flight, and most of the preparation is about landing the plane. And that kind of startled me. I hadn't really thought about that. And when I apply that to ministry and time as a leader on a given span of ministry in a church, how much of our time is spent about how is this going to land? And where am I to bring this to? That's worth conversation, and there's wisdom in that, to have conversations with your leaders and prepare them for, I believe God's having me bring it this far with you, and then it will be this. Very few church leaders have those conversations. I believe we should have more of those. Also, if you talk to a pilot of an aircraft, one of the things they will underscore for you is be ready for the unexpected, especially on the landing. I've tried to learn to fly planes. I actually could fly the plane. Landing, not so good. There's a lot of unexpected things when you're bringing a plane in. I think one of the challenges for pastors is they don't rely on enough other capable leaders to help them land well. They feel like that's all on them. And that's a mistake. I think that we've got to be wiser than that. We need to have conversations with experienced and capable leaders that can give us really good advice and guidance. And by all means, we need to be listening to God on this. What do I need to complete before I leave here? I'm not supposed to do everything, but there are some things I need to do. And that's all part also of getting people to where they need to get on their journey with the Lord. Very important. The last part I want to talk about is the positive completion. One of the sad parts of my job is sometimes I've had to go in when the completion was anything but positive. And I know that's going to happen at times. Sometimes maybe we could say, humanly speaking, that's unavoidable. But I need to confess to you that in those situations that I've been asked to come in and try to help, when a completion has been very negative, most of it could have been avoided. There wasn't the kind of conversations, there wasn't the kind of listening to God, there wasn't the kind of interactions, healthy interactions that leaders needed to have with the pilot so that there could be a positive completion. I just wanted to share my heart on that because I pastor several churches. I know how important that is. It leaves really bad stains and blotches in people's lives and in their spiritual journey. Those are things we need to be cautious about. We need to be careful about as leaders in the church. And so I would commend to anybody in a leadership role to really think about having those conversations earlier, not later. And do it with a genuine concern for the pilot, if in fact we're going to see the pastor as the pilot. And also, if you're in the role of pastor, you need to think about, is this the time? Can I leave with a positive sense of completion on this? It's all very important. Of course, all of that I'm speaking in terms of we're serving in the context of trying to move ahead in what Christ is calling us to be and do and increase Christ's kingdom. I hope this is helpful. God bless you.